coaching. What's it like being in this position now?
It's awesome. It's been a great transition. Being back at home, back around the guys. A couple guys I played with. Actually, I get to coach now, which has been really good. So it's been fun. It's a blessing. I can't thank Coach Doran enough. Allowing me to be back here, and the guys for accepting me to be in this role. And it's been great. My whole goal is to get these guys ready to play.
How much did you learn from the bull prep last year and kind of being able to take over a position group?
I learned a lot. Being able to have the room, on an interim tag, during the bowl game was a big learning experience for me. Kind of learned on the fly a little bit, how to manage the room, different personalities, different skill sets, how to put players in position to be successful. And I think I learned a lot from that. Now I'm going to use those lessons to help us out this year.
You wore that number 1 jersey longer than anybody at NC State. What about Caden Fordham makes him qualified to take that over?
He's been through a lot, since he's been here, and he's learned a lot. And I think the biggest way I could put it is that he took this team, his offseason, even while being injured and going through the recovery process, and he's found opportunities to lead. And he did it in his own way. He didn't try to be me, he didn't try to be Caden, he didn't try to be Drake. He just wanted to be Caden Fordham. And I told him that would be enough, and it was enough. And I'm extremely happy for him. It couldn't happen to a better person, and I'm honored to have him, in the club with me.
Did you always know that you wanted to be a coach, and if so, has anything surprised you as a coach?
I always felt like I wanted to be a coach one day. I love this game. I love football. I love being around these guys. And, I have my opportunity to play, and now I want to give these guys the opportunity to do the same and go further than I did. That's my whole goal of being a coach. You don't coach for yourself, you coach for other people. You coach to get back to the game, to pour into these kids and to develop them the best way you can, both as a player and as a man.
And to be coaching at your alma mater too. How much does that mean to you as well?
Yeah, it's like a fairy tale story, right? You get a chance to play linebacker at NC State, and then you go off, play in the league for a little bit, and then come back, you coach linebacker at NC State under the coach that you played for, around a lot of guys that you played with. It's insane. But I'm just extremely blessed and thankful to be back here.
Is it ever weird, coaching some of the guys that you were teammates with?
I wouldn't say it's weird, but it's I think it actually helps a little bit because they understand who I am, I understand who they are. I'm able to communicate them on a level that they definitely understand. And, a lot of these guys were freshmen, my senior year. When I was being a leader and doing things, so they kind of saw me in that space already. So it kind of just goes back to our playing days. Sean and Caden still call me Cap sometimes. It's funny in the meeting room, but it's now I call them Cap. So but it's awesome. It's good to be back here.
You're able to get a taste of the Cardinal Gibbons now at the college level. Do you prefer college football coaching? What are your thoughts on that?
I just want to be on the field. Wherever there's a football field, I'll be. Whether it's high school, it's college, whether it's one day Little League. As long as there's football around, I'm coaching. I'm good.
You mentioned seeing Caden as a freshman. How much have you seen him grow from that time to the role he's in now?
He came in, from young kid from Florida with a ton of energy, a ton of juice, and he's kept that throughout his whole 4 years. Like I said before, he's been through some things in his time here, but he's learned a lot from and grown a lot, and been through adversity with his injury and battled back. And again, he just found ways to lead and to be himself in his own way. And that's one thing I really admire about Caden, and that's one of the reasons why I think he got that number, because he was able to lead and do things and better this team in his own way.
What's the biggest difference? What's the biggest difference on this defense with DJ Elliott taking over?
We're gonna still be hard hitting fly around team. Fly defense team playing a bunch of energy and a bunch of juice. I think the biggest difference that you'll see from us is that we're gonna be multiple. We're gonna do some different things schematically, but we're gonna be who we are. And that's gonna be fly around, hit you in the mouth, and we're gonna play sound defense. That's what we do here in NC State.
Jimmy, did you have one more? Was that you?
No, I'm good.
Mike had one more.
I was going to ask, so this is Sean's second year linebacker, second year as a captain. How have you seen him really take a step forward this year, being more comfortable?
Yeah, I think coming out of the safety room last year, he still had to kind of learn the position of playing linebacker, right? And I think he was kind of learning on the fly, last year, and that's one of the biggest things he talked about in the offseason. Like, we got to make sure you understand the position of linebacker, and then after you understand the position, now we teach you the scheme, right? And I think he's done a heck of a job on his own account, learning the position, learning the scheme, and helping other guys do the same. I think everyone on the team, everyone in this program really looks to Sean, as a leader and as a voice that can go to both sides of the ball and not only hold people accountable, but also bring people up. You know, and he's a very, you know, intelligent guy. You know, he has, you know, his athletic traits, but the kind of person he is, he's a hard worker, gonna bring people up with him, is never gonna leave somebody behind. And that's one of the reasons why he is a two-time captain.
Awesome.